This is the brand new Galaxy Watch 8 in the 40mm size. We're going to go ahead and get this out of the box and compare it to the Galaxy Watch 7 to see if it's worth the upgrade. So let's go ahead and pull this out. We'll see the Watch 8 right there on top with no band. Pull this box out and there's the band. Go ahead and flip this over. Got our band out here. And the first thing you'll notice is that we have a new type of connection. Samsung says they did this so that the watch would sit more flush to your skin to give you better measurements. And while it's disappointing that we have another new proprietary connector, at least there's a reason for it. But hopefully this is the last proprietary connector change. And these connectors just snap right into place. You just line up the metal tab with this little groove right here and push it into place and it snaps right in. And we'll do the same on the other side and we're good to go. Now let's go ahead and turn this on and I'll take off my Galaxy Watch 7 so we can get a better comparison. While the watch is getting set up, let's go ahead and see what else we get in the box, which is this smaller box, which is hidden in the cover. And this should be our charging cable. Let's see, on this side we get a quick start guide, and there is our charge cable. Pretty tightly put into there. There we go. So there's the charge cable. There's no difference in charge speed this time. There's been no upgrades or anything like that. This is the same type of charger as we had on the Galaxy Watch 7. So we are all set up now, and the default watch face on the Watch 8 really hides the bezel pretty well. It looks like the screen goes all the way to the edges, but if I long press this and I switch to a different watch face, like maybe this sporty classic one here, you'll see that there is a bezel that does go around the outside, very similar to the Galaxy Watch 7. And you do still have that digital bezel functionality. So if I scroll across that bezel, it is going to go through all the tiles and notifications. There is also a 44mm Galaxy Watch 8, and here's what that looks like next to this Galaxy Watch 7. I mentioned in my Watch 8 Classic video that the Classic version, that Squircle on the Classic, I didn't think I was going to like it, but I absolutely loved it with that Classic style specifically, with that rotating bezel. But here, I'm just not as big of a fan. It just seems a bit out of place. It feels like this should just be screen in the corners instead. Like it's almost like I'm not sure why this is even here. And personally, I'm not a big fan of it on the Watch 8, but I did love it on the Classic. Flipping over to the sides of the watches, you can see that it's now thinner. And it's not just because it's the 40mm versus the 44mm. Samsung was able to make this back sensor a lot flatter. So if you like to wear your watch to sleep at night, the Watch 8 will likely be a bit more comfortable than the Watch 7 just because of the difference in thickness. And while we're looking at the backs of these watches, I already showed you the new connection style on the Watch 8. But just for a refresher, on the Watch 7, the button was actually on the band itself. So if you push this button, you could take the band off, and then you could replace this with any traditional style band that fit between these posts. If you want to put a traditional style watch band on the Watch 8, you'd have to get some sort of an adapter first, then connect to that. And I'm sure someone's going to have an adapter available on Amazon sometime soon if they don't already have one. In terms of new health features, we have a new running coach, and what this does is you take a survey, then you do a 12-minute run, and it'll determine kind of how good of a runner you are and how your heart health is. Then you'll get a tailored running plan based on your current health. Mindfulness now also has a larger tile with a direct access to breathing exercises to start one of those. And you can even now choose which type of breathing exercise you want to do right from the watch. Previously, these types of settings were only available in the Samsung Health app on your phone. Antioxidant Index is another brand new feature that measures your antioxidant levels. So you're just going to go ahead and tap Measure. It says you can monitor the progress on your phone. It tells you to press your thumb firmly on the back to take the measurement. And then you can go ahead and start the measurement. So I'm going to flip the watch over. The LEDs are going to be on. I'm going to firmly press with my thumb. I'll feel a vibration when it starts, and then I'll feel a double vibration when it's finished. There's also a new vascular load tracker, and what this does is basically track how hard your heart is working and helps you get into a healthy range, because you could either be pushing too hard or not enough. But it'll take a few days to actually show this information, so I'll have to get back to you guys with how well this works. And that's it for new health features in the Samsung Health app. The notifications also get a huge update on the Watch 8. For starters, the icons now float above the notification itself, and there's a police car going by right now. Notifications also get a significant update on the Galaxy Watch 8. For starters, the notification icons now float above the notifications themselves, and these little dots appear to show you that there's more notifications to swipe through. Previously, the icons were just part of the notification, and you'd have this much larger dot array, which not only shows where you are in your notifications, but also where you are in your tiles as well. And if you have multiple notifications on the Watch 8, you can actually just scroll through those notifications now. Previously, there was a little icon that you'd have to press below the notification, and that would allow you to scroll through all of them. So it's just one less step to see everything. The tiles have gotten tremendously more useful because you can now swipe up and down through the tiles and add more information for each tile. So if I go over here, you can see there's just so much information for each available tile. Previously, you couldn't do that. It was just a left and a right swipe to get into your tiles. And if we look at like this one, for example, the health tile, the exercise tile, and compare it to the new fitness tile, you can see that it's just so much more useful now. And if you click to add a new tile, this page has also been completely updated. So you have your featured tiles at the top, but then it goes into like this list view and it shows you how many different tiles are for each one of these different types of features. And so if I tap this shortcuts tile, for example, it'll give me the options for that. I can tap one and add it. And if I tap this plus icon, I can add any other tile below it. So even though it's not related to a shortcuts, if I want a battery tile, I can add that in. And now I have this custom tile with whatever I want stacked into it. So this is a tremendously useful update. And taking a look back at the Watch 7, you can see that as I scroll through here, it just shows me all the different tiles, and it just takes longer to scroll through with this particular method. That said, we should see these tile changes brought to the Watch 7 with the One UI 8 watch update. So this is not necessarily a reason to upgrade. Performance also is not a reason to upgrade because these both use the exact same processor. Plus, the Galaxy Watch 7 was already super snappy. Like everything just loads super quick as I go through here. You can see how smooth that is. And obviously, you're going to get that same smooth experience on the Galaxy Watch 8 as well. The app screen also gets a new look with a more of a grid style instead of this staggered pattern from before. And if we scroll all the way to the bottom, we get a new set view option. And we get this option to show featured apps based on our usage. So the more we use the watch, our most frequently used applications are going to appear here at the top for quick access. But again, this software change is likely coming to the Galaxy Watch 7 with the One UI 8 watch update later this year. Battery size also gets a very small upgrade. Simply put, we get a 10 milliamp hour increase in battery size on the larger Watch 8 and a 25 milliamp hour battery size increase on the smaller Watch 8. In real life, those battery improvements are going to be pretty negligible, especially if you use the watch outside a lot, because the Watch 8 now has a 3000 nit peak brightness versus the 2000 nit peak brightness on the Watch 7, which is incredible because the Watch 7 was already pretty easy to see in bright daylight. But at 3000 nits, you should not have any issue ever seeing this, even in the most harsh sunlight. So is the Watch 8 worth the upgrade? Well, honestly, you're going to get a lot of those software features brought to the Watch 7 with the One UI 8 watch update. So if you want the new tiles or the new app screen or the new notification style, I would just wait for the update on your Watch 7 if those are the only reasons you want to upgrade. Battery life is also going to be very similar between them, and they have the same processor, so you're not going to see a performance upgrade either. So the main reasons to upgrade would be that 50% brighter display for direct sunlight usage, or maybe if you really like the style of this one compared to the previous generations, or for those new health measurements like the antioxidant index and the vascular load, and possibly even that new Running Coach. But I do think the Running Coach is going to eventually be added to the Watch 7. That seems simple enough to add with a software update. That's it for this tech episode. Jesus loves you guys, and I'll catch you in the next one.